Thank you so much for joining us on the Dwelling Show. I'm your host, Ola Dantes. I've got Cameron Hope with us today. Hey, Cameron, how you doing today?
Good, Ola. How about yourself, brother?
Doing well, doing well. Thank you so much for joining. So let's jump right into it. Just tell us really quickly, your story. How did you get into real estate? What are you kind of up to lately?
Absolutely. So, man, I moved to Houston from Ohio in 2013, right out of school in an engineering job. And man, it wasn't very long after starting work, people started getting laid off. I don't know if you heard up in the Northeast part of the country, but we had oil market crashed, went from $110 to like 30. And Houston's that's like the leading industry down here. So when that crashed, it was like a standstill in the economy down here. I saw guys in their 30s, 40s, established, good at what they did, get laid off. Some of them ended up driving for Uber. So going from making a six-figure job to being an Uber driver, it was a shock to me. So I was thinking about ways to build passive income, or at least not rely on a steady on a job, on a W-2. And I kept coming back to real estate. I was always interested in finance as a kid, the stock market, what have you, but I kept coming back around to real estate. So read a bunch of books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, all the classics, found BP, and then hit the ground running. And that would have been 2015. I met Sam Craven and Matt Trenchard at Emerson House Buyers. So they're a huge wholesale company here. And they, I paid them some money to be in their mentor program, and they taught me everything they knew, and it worked out extremely well. Bought my first house in August of 2015. And then since then acquired 23 or 24 units, 20 houses, most of them single family, a couple of small multis, and still doing acquisitions, mostly in long-term buy and hold, again, just for that passive income, kind of replace your job type mentality. Or at least, like the financial freedom thing, where you have, it's not so much the money, it's more the freedom of time, right? Being able to do what you want, spend time with who you want, not necessarily just because I want to, have a certain number in my bank.
Or drive a Ferrari, right?
Exactly. Now, don't get me wrong, that doesn't sound too bad, but it's more just being able to spend time as you want and not having to rely on, when my engineering company tells me, hey, we no longer need you, I'm not going to be scrambling trying to take care of a wife or kids, or worry about that. That was kind of my big impetus.
No, definitely. Thank you for that. Really good overview. I really appreciate that. You mentioned a lot of good things there. You talked about paid mentors, right? You talked about, basically buying your first property, and then it was kind of off to the races after then. But quickly though, what I want to touch on is paid mentorship. So if there's somebody out there listening to our conversation thinking, well, I've been thinking of that, maybe I should get a mentor, but I'm not sure if I want to pay someone or not. What are your thoughts on that?
Man, so I don't think anybody that does anything very well does it for free, right? You can look across the industry, not even in real estate and anything. I don't think anybody that's really good does it for free. I don't think they can afford to do it for free. If that was the case, so many people will be coming in to ask for their advice or their time that they just wouldn't be able to do. Brandon Turner talks about it on the podcast all the time, right? And David Green. People email them constantly asking them for coffee or whatever, and they just don't have the time. So I'm a big proponent of shortening the learning curve. And if that means I got to fork out some money to buy somebody's time, do it. And also a big proponent of just copying what successful people have done. We don't have to try to reinvent the wheel. Real estate has worked for 100 years or hundreds of years. And, I'm not trying to reinvent things. It's just do what's been done. Find people that are successful. If you got to buy their time, buy it intelligently, but pay for it, and then replicate what they've done.
I like it. It's very simple, right?
Yeah.
Nothing grandiose about that. Just pretty,
I'm not the
pretty
sharpest tool in
straightforward.
the shed, so it's you got to just repeat.
Right. All right. So let's jump into your first deal then. How did you find that deal? I know you kind of mentioned that a little bit, but how did you find it and how did you fund that deal?
So the first deal was Chola Canyon, and it was an owner finance. So I was putting out bandit signs. I was doing white letters, and they called off a bandit sign, and it was a guy whose mom was becoming of age. I mean, getting to the point where they were going to have to move him out and move him in with him, or put him in a home, basically. And they had fallen behind on their mortgage. So we came in, and I say we is like me and contractors, title companies. When I say we, I'm just talking about the whole collective group that I work with. Um, went in there, sat down with them. They had very little equity, and they had still a lot of work to be done on the house. So it was an owner finance. I said, hey, we can sub two, we'll catch you up, we'll make the repairs, it'll rebuild her credit. And it was that, or pretty much they were going to try to go through a short sale or something, or a foreclosure. And did that, fixed it up, put some money into it, and then turn around and owner finance it. So basically did a double wrap transaction. And I put like, after the repairs, I don't have the numbers exactly in front of me, but after the repairs, put like 10 or 12,000 in my pocket from their down payment, and then made about $170 to $200 a month spread difference between my note and the end buyer's note. So home run first deal, I got all my money back and was able to pile that back into the next deal.
Wow. Congratulations. For your first deal, that seems pretty, pretty complicated. So of
Exactly.
course,
No,
yeah,
exactly.
of course your, the paid mentorship definitely would have worked out because, your first deal can't be that complicated if you didn't know what you were doing.
Well, and Ola, that's what it was, man. We were looking at it, and I'm like, man, it's a stressful situation. They need some help. Their only other options are foreclosure, and that was the beauty with the paid mentorship. So you look at that. I cut him a $15,000 check for my mentorship, and already on the first deal, I got 12,000 back in my pocket and made $200 a month. So I mean,
No
I
bad.
paid the whole thing in one deal.
Right. Not bad. Okay. And then, so you got this deal down and then you kind of started going. And then when did you start buying the small multifamily? And can you give us a case study of a small multifamily that you did?
Yeah, I'll give you, wow, man, this one's not very exciting. It was, so I'm from Ohio, Ohio University, Athens, Ohio, small college town. And, having one thing I always recommend people who start out, go and tell everybody that you know that you're in real estate. Well, small town, somebody said, hey, I know a lady that's trying to sell this house. And it was a triplex. And she had actually bought it for her daughter when she started school. So she bought it freshman year and wanted to sell it senior year. And it was perfect. She's like, I don't need to make any money on it. The other tenants on the other units had kind of paid her rent, and she said, I just want what I got into it. So I paid about, I think it was like 230 or 225 for the threeplex, and that clears about 1,000 a month. And it was just a straight 20% down purchase. And that was probably last year or so. So I had some cash saved up. It wasn't anything creative. Just did the standard bank financing on that one, but it was, I mean, it's a home run deal.
Wow. I know you said you have about 23 units now. That's a lot of units. You're doing pretty well. I wish we could just keep going on every deal, but we just don't have enough time, especially on this episode. So we're just going to quickly just we're going to dwell into the quick rounds. These are going to be quick questions, quick answers. You ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's do this.
Absolutely.
First question. What makes you, Cameron, unique? What is that differentiating factor that separates you from the next guy or the next girl?
And I would say the big thing is just simplicity and straightforwardness, right? I mean, just I'm not trying to overcomplicate things. Honest, straightforward, upfront. I think that's the biggest thing. It's just like there's no. I'd rather why say in 10 words what you can in 3, right? I mean, just simplify things, get it done, and move forward to resolution. I think that's the biggest thing. That's what's helped me out in real estate, especially.
Wow, I love that. I don't think I've heard that one before on the show, thus far. Yeah, that's a good one. Um, Second question: what was the last book that you read, and what was the one thing you picked up from that book?
Yeah, so the last book I read was actually I can't remember the author, but it's called Deep Simplicity. And the big thing I learned from it, like we're talking about now, is just simplify things. It's like the laws of physics. We can take very complicated things and you can make them very simple by breaking things down to the base level. And that book has, there's so many. I mean, if you look at real estate as a whole, there's so many moving parts. But if you break it down and look at the simple things of what you're trying to accomplish, cash flow, appreciation, whatever, you can knock out a lot of the noise.
Wow, I like that. I gotta check that out.
Yeah,
Yeah. Final question. You've got, like you said, a lot of properties. Under management. You've doing a lot of stuff. You're still trying to obviously scale up your business. What do you do
absolutely.
for fun?
I mean, I enjoy working on the business. Honestly, that's my thing. I still work full time, so I've got work, the business, and if I get some time to get away, I like traveling or spending time with family and friends. That's my thing. But I really do enjoy seeing the business grow. We just hired another person, so you feel really fulfilled when you hire that next person and you can actually see them taking off and taking the business to the next level. So that
Wow.
I really enjoy. Yeah.
Yeah, congratulations. That's really huge. So if there's somebody, especially like you mentioned, you've got a full-time job as well. So if there's somebody listening to us now, a dual listener thinking, oh my goodness, I've got a day job too. I want to do the same thing Cameron is doing.
Yeah.
I want to connect with Cameron. Maybe they're in the Houston, Texas market where you are, one of my favorite markets, by the way,
Yeah.
or wherever in the country they are, right?
Yeah.
What would you say to that person? And how can they reach out? How can they reach out to you and connect with you?
Absolutely. Just you can find me on Bigger Pockets, or we got a YouTube channel, emersonhousebuyers.com. Check me out there. Send me an email at info@emersonhousebuyers.com. I'll answer the questions I can. I give out a lot of free content, whether it's blog posts, forum comments, or videos on the YouTube channel. So if you guys got anything I can do to help, please feel free to reach out.
Cameron, you're a legend. I really appreciate you taking the time out. Thank you so much. Obviously, we're going to keep continuing. We do talk on Bigger Pockets as well anyway. So I really
Absolutely.
appreciate you. Thank you so much.
No, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.